Hey guys, Peter here. So I recently got a question from someone. What do I do with my income? This is coming from someone who is starting their first job. They just graduated school and they don't really know what to do with the income that they're going to be making. And I was thinking about when I first started my job out of college and how scary it is, because you know that you have certain bills that you have to pay, but you also know that you need to be financially responsible, but you don't really know how to begin. And so I started thinking about what helpful, not too hard tips I would give the 21-year-old version of myself to work on, so that as he practices these tips and incorporates them into his life, he can start building a good financial foundation, something that can last into the future years of his life. So with that, here are 5 tips that I would give the 21-year-old version of myself. The first tip would be to make a budget and write it down. You may think that your life right now isn't too complicated, so why bother writing it down? You have your rent, you have your utilities, and you have food, and that's more or less it. But you'd be surprised how many things can slip through your mind, and writing it down helps you with financial discipline, and it actually is more helpful in other ways. Here are a few ways that I think writing a budget down is helpful. I think the first is that it keeps you accountable. When you write something down, you have a goal in mind, something that you want to achieve. And the way that you live your life, the way that you spend on a day-to-day basis is going to be geared towards achieving those goals. Whereas if you do not have a goal written down, maybe it's just in your head, you could fudge those goals as you spend and as you live life. And so writing it down really gives you personal accountability. Secondly, it helps you start developing organized financial thinking. It's a muscle that I think a lot of people have not had a chance to develop. One, because it's intimidating and you don't really know how to do it or how to start. But you want to have that organized financial thinking muscle developing at a younger age, when your life is relatively simple and not overly complicated, compared to being forced to develop it or tap into it at a later age when life is a lot more complicated. And the third reason why I would have a budget and have a written budget is to catch the little foxes that might ruin your financial vineyard. As you're spending day to day on tiny things that you don't think those small things will matter. A few dollars here or there on this or that trinket. You think these things are not going to hurt your overall financial picture. But I think when you have it written down and you add all of these expenditures up at the end of a year, you'll realize that they can actually have a pretty meaningful impact on your financial goals. And I think it also tells you on just how you're not really carefully spending. And if you're making all these small little one-off purchases here and there, why is it that you're doing that? And does it actually bring you happiness to do that? Or is it just a distraction that you're falling into? Those are a few reasons why I think having a budget and writing it down is very important. And the second tip I would give the younger version of myself is start record keeping. Right now you don't have a lot of financial documents to stay on top of, but as life goes on, you're going to have more and more. And if it's not orderly, life's going to be a mess. You're going to need to scramble to find documents when you want to apply for a loan for a car, when you want to get a mortgage, when you want to prepare for your taxes. It's just easier when you have everything organized. And it's a skill set that you don't just get all at once. It's something that you have to develop and grow over time. And right now it may not seem like it's super necessary, but it will be extremely beneficial later on in life to have organized financial documents rather than your financial documents in disarray. The third tip I would give to my younger self would be take the free money. The biggest source of free money is 401k contributions. It's free money, so why not just take it? If you contribute $1 to your 401k, most likely if you work for a good sized corporation, they'll match that dollar. They may match it by 50%, but they'll put in 50 cents. or they may match it by 100%, or they'll give you $1. So that's 50 cents or $1 of free money. So not only are you saving $1 for yourself, but they're giving you free money as you save. Another source of free money is company perks or benefits. Sometimes the company may have a relationship with a telephone carrier, and so you can actually get a discount on your cell phone bill. Or if you need to buy professional clothing or work clothing, the company may have a relationship with a retailer that also offers you discounts. So make sure to look at your company internal website and look for company perks and benefits. So those two are two very good sources of free money that you should take. The fourth tip is don't lose money to Uncle Sam. Taxes will always be with us, and if you live in a certain state, your state taxes might actually be really high. If you're lucky and you live in a state with very little or no state income tax, that's just extra money that you get to keep. So there are many ways to reduce your taxable income. The biggest is related to the prior tip, which is to invest in your 401k. So the money that you put into your 401k, every dollar that you put in is $1 that you get to take off from your taxable income. Another way to reduce your taxable income is to take advantage of programs like WageWorks. It's a transportation benefits program where, let's say you live in a city where you need to take a train to work, you can actually have them send you the train passes out of your pre-tax dollars. Or if you live in a city where you need to drive, you may actually be able to have WageWorks send you parking passes from your pre-tax income. So those are two pretty big ways to reduce your taxable income. Another way to reduce your taxable income is through your health insurance plan. If you opt for a high deductible plan, you can build an HSA, which is I call it a superior version of a 401k. And it's just another way to put more of your money into a vehicle that is protected from taxes. And so all of these are good ways to reduce your taxable income, because if you don't need to give Uncle Sam your money, then why give it to him? Now the last bit of advice that I would give to the younger version of myself is to learn to give away money, learn to give to charities. I think when you start off with your first job, you realize that, oh wow, there's a lot of bills I have to pay. I mean, not only does the government take a huge bite out of your paycheck for taxes, you have to pay rent, you have to pay for your own health insurance, you have to pay for utilities, all the things that your parents used to pay for, now you have to manage on your own. And you realize that what looked like a big salary actually is shrunk down pretty quickly. But I think it's still good to give, even when it feels like it just hurts a little bit, because you're training yourself to not be a slave to money. You're training yourself not to solely focus your life on chasing after wealth or financial success. You'll quickly realize that the most important things in life are good, healthy relationships, good friendships, good relationships with your family, and making sure that those are your priorities, building those, investing in those. In the long term, those are things you're not going to regret. But if you chase wealth or money at the expense of investing in your relationships, that's something that you will regret. So hopefully these are 5 tips that help you. I certainly would 100% give these tips to the 21-year-old version of myself, and would want that version to practice these tips so they can build a good foundation for the rest of their lives. I hope this was helpful. Please leave me any comments, or if you have any other questions, obviously please let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.